Welcome back, bitches, to part 6 of PoLaRiS Let's Play Socom 3. This is the final mission in the North African campaign. The objective is to capture Mahmoud, or Mahmoud, however you say his name. Don't really care how you pronounce it, but the fat dude with the beard, that's who we're going after. For this mission, I will be using the M14 with a high scope and a rifle laser. And I'd like to talk a little bit about the M14. As you guys know, the service rifle of the U.S. Armed Forces is the M16 or the M4 carbine or the M4A1, whatever. But anyway, this rifle was our service rifle right at the beginning of Vietnam, and it was replaced by the AR-15 just as fast as it became our service rifle. But let's say that it was not replaced by the AR-15, or the AR-15 never existed, and this would have been our service rifle. I wonder if we would have won more battles. I don't know. I'm not a military expert. I've never been in a war before. But the problems with the AR-15 is that it's not a very reliable gun. You gotta keep it clean all the time. It's notorious for jamming. It had a very bad track record in Vietnam. I think 50% of the time they would jam. The problem was they didn't issue those guns with cleaning kits, and they didn't chrome line the barrel. And when they tested the AR-15, they used a different powder, and when the M16 rolled out, they switched the type of powder in the shell, so it would burn dirtier, and that's the problem with the M16 is it does not like dirty ammunition. It'll gunk up there. It's really tight tolerances in there, and you'll have a failure. Anyway, the M14 is pretty much a modified version of the M1 Garand. Pretty much the differences I see is it's chambered in a different round, and it takes a detachable magazine. And I think you could adjust the gas system. I don't know if you could on the M1 Garand. I'm not an expert on this, but anyway, you think about it, I mean, the M14 is a heavier rifle, and you're not going to be able to carry as much ammunition, but, you know, it's not going to take as much ammunition to take down a target. I mean, I think, you know, if you get hit by anything, I mean, it's going to slow you down, but the argument with the AR-15 versus the AK-47 is there's a huge argument in the caliber, because the AR-15, the M16, takes a very small bullet, 22 size projectile that shoots out of it, 5.56, 223, versus the AK, which is 7.62 by 39, and that will shoot a 30 caliber round. See, all the guns like M1 Garand, M14, AK-47, even the M1 carbine is in 30 cal. You could take the shell casings and put them up close, and the diameter of the round will be the same. Now, the difference is between the
There's a Ural truck.
rounds are obviously the length of the case, the length of the projectile, the amount of powder, you know, crap like that. But there is controversy or debate on the caliber, and they've been taking these AR-15s over there to Iraq and Afghanistan, and you know, you get mixed reports. Some people say it's never failed on me, and I've always been able to count on it. And others say, you know, it's the most unreliable piece of shit ever. I had one guy talk about this on YouTube, and he said that the problem was when he was in Saudi Arabia, he would get sand in the gun, and it would get into the buffer, and he'd be shooting or something. He never really talked about being in like battles or anything, but he said he'd get sand in that buffer, and he had to smack it on the ground to get it untangled, and yeah, that could be an issue. Versus your M14 and your AK-47 guns, they're going to be reliable. The AK is probably going to be the better one, but they're going to go bang every time. They shoot a very powerful round. Yeah, I wonder if our military would adopt a M1A style rifle, shorter barrel than the M14, and go with that. You know, it'd be basically like a M1 Garand with a detachable magazine, and yeah, that would be pretty cool. But the problem with the guns is the cost. The M1A, M14, they cost a shit ton, like $1,500, $2,000, maybe even more. I don't know how much now, since post-election. Everything's been going up, but I think it would be very interesting to see the M14 make a return to the battlefield if it hasn't already, because more and more of those M14s, they're pulling out of storage, and they're using them over there across seas. Do any of you guys do game battles? I mean, I really didn't do game battles. I've probably done 5 or 3 and probably lost every single one of them. The only time I ever did game battles, I believe, was on this game. And it was back when I wasn't good at the game. I was kind of a noob. But one of the best memories I had from competitive gaming, whatever you want to call it, we went on another site. It was called Gaming Empires, and I was in this clan, and I signed us up for it, and I can't remember if our leader was in. I think he was inactive, because at one point, he went to the military or something like that. But anyway, there wasn't a real leader in our clan. We had the co-leader, who was kind of a casual bum. But anyway, I signed us up for this tournament, and it was pretty funny. We were able to advance all the way to the semifinals by forfeit. And anyway, when we got to the semifinals, it was a big deal, because this was also a prize tournament. It was for an MP3 player, MP5 player, or whatever you call it. And we thought that was so cool, and we got the whole clan together. I can't remember how many people we had in the battle, 4 or 5, but we ended up going to that battle, and I remember the opposing team. He wanted to play by his fucking rules, and I was a fucking dickhead to him, and I'm like, no, we're not gonna do that, and I'm not gonna fucking green up until we get a fucking administrator in here. And that pissed him the fuck off, and like, he didn't want to have like claymores or mines or like flashbangs. It's just ridiculous. He made all these restrictions, and he ended up giving in and allowing those things to be in the game. And I don't even think I used any of those. I didn't even use any of those, but yeah, we ended up losing the war, and
you like money, don't you?
but yeah, it was fun. It's a good memory. I had a lot of fun. I mean, it sucked losing, but you know, life goes on, I guess. And so we have captured the fat dude in the beard. And now he's gonna be sent to Guantanamo Bay or wherever we take him. And that will be the end of part 6. And next time I will be seeing you, it will be in South Asia. So, see you later.